All right, what's up, everyone? Duquesne23 here, bringing you a very exciting news. It's called the Racing Towards Matchmaking Design Challenge, and this is presented by Godly Perfection on his website. And before I get into that, if y'all haven't seen this video in the background, it is my Star Wars Battle of Endor racetrack. And, I'll put a link in the description for the full video. I talk about, what inspired me and some things about the track. So if y'all want to see that video, I'll put a link in the description. So be sure to check that out. Now, I know I already made a video of this yesterday, and I had to delete the video. I could have made annotations, but I'd rather just, totally create a new video. And I'm really sorry about this, guys. Whenever I was talking with Godly Perfection in an Xbox Live party, I apparently misunderstood him. I kept on, whenever we were talking about it, it sounded like, at least to me, it sounded like he was saying that there will be a race playlist, 100% for sure. And he never actually said, so he told me he never actually said that there will be 100% for sure. He's doing this challenge just because if there will be a race playlist in the future, which I kind of think most likely there will be one, just because race is getting really huge in reach. So you would think at least in Halo 4 or, sometime during the spring as a surprise, bring in a race playlist or something like that. But the whole thing is it's just that, sorry about that, kind of sick a little bit. But the whole thing about that is I misunderstood him. So there isn't a for sure race playlist going to be going up. It's still just, of course, speculation on everything. But the reason why he's doing this is whenever there is a race playlist, eventually there probably will be one, they're going to have maps that are just going to be ready, ripe for the picking, so to speak. They're already ready. He knows that all these are good maps for matchmaking and stuff like that. So this is pretty much just getting ready just in case there is a race playlist. All right, so now that I cleared that up and that I made a huge mistake and I got a lot of people excited for, I guess no reason. But sorry about that, everyone. It was just a big misunderstanding. But okay, let's go ahead and get into this. If you didn't watch my first video, then I have some of the details here. I will put a link in the description to the website post and everything. So let's go ahead and get into the map requirements. Now, you got to keep in mind your racetrack has got to be matchmaking, playable, I guess you would have to say. In other words, everything, you got to keep the player in mind. Stuff like performance issues, like single player and two player split screen. I know someone in my last video asked, what's the difference between that? If you think about it, in two-player split screen, there's going to be a smaller amount of view on the TV. So you got to keep that in mind where you can't have, for just a single player, there's already a real small screen. So, and then of course for a two-player split screen, that's going to even make that view even smaller. So you got to keep all that in mind. Another one is it's easy to learn and race. Your racetrack has got to be easy to figure out. You can't have it really complicated or something like that. Just something real easy for the noobs at racing, and all just the people in matchmaking that, don't normally race. Make it easy for them to be able to figure out where to go and what to do. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't make it sometimes difficult. The main track, you want to keep it easy, not too difficult, maybe a little bit, maybe moderate level, difficulty level will be fine for a track, but you don't want to keep it, you don't want to have it hard, so the people who don't normally do race won't all of a sudden go into the race playlist, if there will be one, and feel overwhelmed that, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be have to race like this. I have to be this good in order to be able to just race in the playlist. So you got to make sure that you make it easy. But then also you want it difficult to master. For all the good racers out there, you wanted to have some challenge, but you want to have stuff like shortcuts that are really challenging. Things that are optional to go on in order to make it, a shortcut or something like that will provide challenging stuff for the, you know, I guess real good racers, and it'll be, you know, at least if the easier people, you know, they don't have to go on the shortcuts, so then they could have the easier track. Some other stuff is technicalities in the racetrack. Stuff like it's got to be cleanly forged, don't have any bumps on it. I believe tapering doesn't count as bumps just because you're going down, like they're kind of like small little steps. But bumps to where you actually hit it and it'll screw up your mongoose, stuff like that. And nothing sticking out of the track unless, of course, it's intended. Also, checkpoints have to work properly. So in other words, this means they have to be facing the right way. Like right here, if I enter this checkpoint and then I die, you know, I need to spawn facing the right way. I shouldn't have to turn my camera in order to face the right way. So be sure you do your checkpoints in the right thing. Other things that involve technicalities is things like kill boxes. You got to make sure you have kill boxes all around your track. There are no gaps. There's no way to cheat. No, nothing like that. If you're able to cheat in your map, it'll kill the fun in the map, especially if people are competing and stuff. So make sure you have all that stuff correct. I know some people may be asking, is there going to be a reward? No, there's not going to be a reward. Pretty much the only reward is if it does get in matchmaking playlist, then that means your map, you know, will be in the matchmaking, which that's pretty amazing. That's if they do a race playlist, which I think they will eventually. But you know, which that would be amazing if your map gets in matchmaking. I know if one of my, you know, Slayer maps, which I have done before, which I know they're not that good, but if it gets in matchmaking, I would be like ecstatic, you know, just because everyone will be playing your map and stuff, and that would be pretty cool. Also, the deadline for this little, I guess, competition type thing is January 8th at midnight Pacific time. Okay, I'll repeat that again. January 8th at midnight Pacific time. So make sure if you're in Central, Eastern, Mountain, whatever, or in Europe, you got to figure out, you know, what is Pacific time and stuff like that. Or, you know, wherever else you are. I don't know all the other time zones, what they're called, stuff like that. But it's January 8th at midnight Pacific time. Now, the testing week for these tracks will be January 1st through 8th. That's whenever Godly Perfection is going to grab just a bunch of people. You know, it could be random people, some people on his friends list, or just people who send him a message or something like that wanting to, you know, test a track whenever he's testing them. Pretty much y'all just going to go through a whole bunch of racetracks and test them, and, you know, say what you like about the track, what you don't like about the track, what things could be fixed about the track, and that way Godly Perfection is able to get back to someone really fast and, you know, say, hey, we found a flaw in your track, please fix this, and then submit it into the finalized forum or thread, whatever. So, and that brings me to my next thing. The thread for the finalized post, like for your tracks, isn't up yet. That'll be up during the testing week, and which is January 1st through 8th. Right now there is a thread. I'll have a link in the description. There is a thread for like posting comments, you know, asking some questions about the competition. Some like you can get feedback on all your stuff. You can post your track in the comments there, you know, in that thread, and you know, someone could test it out and then they could give you feedback. You know, Godly Perfection could test it out and then give you feedback on what he thinks about the track or what stuff you can improve upon. So whenever you do send it, you know, submit it into the finalized thread, then, you know, your track could be at least as perfect as what you could get it, which, you know, I think that's a great thing. And so, you know, again, guys, I'm just really sorry about, you know, confusing everyone, including myself, about, you know, saying that there will be a race playlist. I know there probably will be eventually, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. So I'm really sorry about that last video. You know, I did that. It's just big misunderstanding. But make sure you still take part in this, because if there is a race playlist, you know, these maps will be considered. You know, at least I'm pretty sure these maps will be considered. because they will be already tested. They'll already be, tested for everything, like all the kill boxes, checkpoints, if it's fun, everything like that. So be sure to check that out. I'll have a link down in the description to both the posts, like the thread that you could submit your maps and get feedback on, and then the original thread that has all the details. I did not go through all the details, so make sure you go to that thread and read it and stuff. And I'll put also a download link to this map that you see here in the background. And thanks, everyone. See you later.